already seated here to have this 1 hour just for you to answer all your questions on any topic of your choice. So if you are seeing this video now and you've not sent us your question, please leave your question as a comment under this video you're seeing, and Pastor will be addressing all your questions on any topic of your choice. So let's get the train moving. It's always an exciting time to be with Pastor. It's always interesting to see Pastor's view and ideology about questions. So keep your questions coming, and we are going to be answering you. But before we go into our section today, I don't know if you have been following Pastor on his Facebook, the Pastor's live broadcast he does twice every day. If you've not been following that broadcast, I can assure you, you've been missing so much out on the happenings, the teachings, the inspirations, the revelations. Just name it, whatsoever you want to target. It's been mind-blowing. I don't know. I don't know if there is any other place you could get such an in-depth of information as regards family, relationship of parents with their kids, daughters and sons in our present generation. So if you have not been following Pastor, please do yourself this wonderful favor by liking Pastor's page. It's Dr. Sunday Adelaja. Like his page, so you'll be getting notification every time Pastor comes online. Check out the times. We have changes in our time now. If you check his Facebook page, you will see the different times, so you can know exactly when he comes on for your own time in your area and your zone where you are. And if you have not been following Pastor on his blog, it's SundayAdelajablog.com. It's a wonderful blog with so much information you cannot even afford to miss out on. On that blog, we have over 700 messages free, both videos and audios, messages that will transform your life for the best, articles, different kind of materials. So if I were you, I would just go to that blog right now and subscribe. Have you been also following Pastor on his YouTube page? It's Sunday Adelaja Official. So if you've not been following Pastor, please subscribe, so you'll be getting notifications of all our videos when Pastor keep uploading. If I were you, I would do everything to stay tuned to the materials coming from this wonderful man of God. You know, we are blessed in our generation to have this individual with us. So if I were you, I would just take advantage of the opportunity and get this information that is free of charge given to you at the comfort of your home, on a platter of good. So having said that, make sure you like the Facebook page, Dr. Sunday Adelaja, his YouTube, Sunday Adelaja Official, and the blog, SundayAdelajablog.com. And you will be glad you did. That is the truth. You will be glad. You will come back with your testimony. You will thank me for it. Yeah, so that brings us to today's show. I don't know, for those who have been on Pastor's live broadcast, if there are some things, maybe comments or questions you have about his teachings that you have not been able to get an answer to, I'm just giving you an idea now. You can leave it as a question here now, so you have the opportunity for Pastor to clarify any doubt you've been having, or anything you do not agree with, or anything that is not clear. You could leave it as a comment under this video, and we'll be addressing it. So tighten your seatbelt. Let's go to Pastor now. Good evening, Pastor.
Wow. You know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about the video of your wedding. I see where to see it today.
Right?
Unbelievable.
Wow.
And the composition and the whole world needs to see that video.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe in the new year.
Very soon, in the new year.
Maybe you could do it the New Year blast.
Right. Right, yeah. Lovely colors.
Thank you. Yours is just gorgeous.
Yeah. Nice to have you. So, Pastor, it's been a wonderful week. You've been on the roles of fathers in the life of their son, consequences of sons that was raised with the absence of a father, and today you were doing of daughters. Why are you so passionate about this topic?
Because when I was a young man,
right,
I was watching American television.
Yeah.
And Hollywood. And the way it came across to me, at least, I think it was not just to me, but to most people who are watching television, is that women are there for the taking.
Okay.
So even when I read, I used to read a lot of detectives.
Okay.
There is a writer they call Hadley Chase or something like that. Yeah, something Hadley Chase. James Hadley Chase, I think. James Hadley Chase. I used to read all, and then Agatha Christie. So all those detectives, they used to have every time have something to do with men and women.
Okay.
And the way they used to have that, I mean, use all this, and all these writers are just writing about describing the body of the woman and the man going after her and conquering her and subduing her and winning her over and making love and all those things. So when I came to Christ, even being, I didn't even know the difference between a woman and a man so much.
Right.
Being in Christ and being a believer, I just thought that, you know, you are not just supposed to sin because it's a commandment.
Right.
But I didn't have understanding. You know, when you have understanding, it's much more easier. You know, but when it's just a law, you do it, but, you know, you still have a lot of questions and you have a lot of pain. So, but the first time I heard somebody say that when ladies wear open dress, that they are not looking for women, they are not looking for men, but they are just trying to, you know, to display themselves, not their body, but themselves who are inside. It surprised me because all men will tell you they never even thought about that. The only way men think is that if a woman, even if she is not exposing her body, if she's just beautiful or she dresses up, they just think it's about them wanting to sleep with the men.
Okay.
Or wanting to men. So it's a misconception that is pervasive in our own world. So that is one reason. It's totally misguided. And I just discovered that women are not evil. They are not promiscuous. Because since I was a child like this, I've been hearing that women are prostitutes, women are promiscuous, as if that's their general nature. Even up to the last 2 weeks, I still saw a woman who is a popular person in Nigerian Nollywood that came up on Facebook and said that we women are all prostitutes. So don't just blame the Nollywood actresses. Oh. We are all like that. So, but it's horrible to be saying that about yourself. But okay, if you are a prostitute, but don't put all women on that. Yes. Yeah. So, but then when I began to, the second reason why I went deep into that, when I began to really study that topic, when I heard that, it was a surprising thing to me that the ladies are not really looking for sex, they are looking for a father. So that was a big surprise. But when I was about to marry, I was determined to be successful. And I said, I will study everything I need to study about the nature of women and about the nature of men so that I'll be able to understand my wife better. And so that no matter who I marry, even if she's a little demon or devil, okay, she will still be happy and I will be happy.
Right.
And that was my determination. And so when I started studying, I began to discover that, my God, the whole world doesn't even know the composition of men and women. We don't even know how different we are. We don't know ourselves. Even men don't know themselves, and the women don't know themselves. And so I made, and the one thing with me is that if I start studying any subject, I am very thorough. I go to I go to the very, in fact, I go and study so much. One time, I've studied a subject that somebody spoke to me about first. He gave me his book, and I read it, and I went to study that subject so much that the next time I met him, he was saying that he needed to learn from me now. He didn't know that I won't learn from him at the beginning. So that's how I do. I go deep into the subject. In fact, I am so thorough in this subject now that I don't know any human being, one person who might know as much. There might be many different information from different places, but for one person to know as much, it will be tough.
Yeah, because from the in-depth, the way you go deep into it and your analysis, I really have not had a teaching like that from anyone before. It's always more like, they know a little something about this and that, but the whole connection and how detailed the whole analysis and when you now look to it, you'll be like, so this is it's actually true, because it's reality. People are testifying to this thing. People are coming forward to say, okay, this happened to me. I live like this, but I never knew what was happening. So I couldn't give a name to it, but this is what I've been experiencing in my life. This is what my son is experiencing. So it's amazing. So it's not like it's some sort of theories that is just out of the blue or some assumptions.
Practical.
It's practical, real life stories and tangible.
But like most of my teachers.
Yeah, actually.
I try to be practical in most of my teachers.
That's true. Wow, it's been a mind-blowing one. But what is going to confuse a lot of women, because both women don't know that. And I didn't know that. So when I see ladies that just dress half naked,
do people condemn them?
Yeah, what comes into my mind is not, for me, it was not really like a prostitute. I just see the person as someone that is not well cultured. That's how I see it. More like the person is trying to, the word they use, is trying to seduce men, but not knowing that there are deeper roots and problems to those issues. And you know, people just, those who are supposed to help just condemn them or maybe scold them or rebuke them. I've seen issues of sometimes when pastors will even walk such ladies from the church and call them demon, rebuke them, you know, things like that.
From the church?
Yeah. I've seen cases like that.
From the stage maybe, but not from the church.
It's which stage? I'm talking about from the... Do you want to defy the church?
I can't believe it. I can't
So this one now is not more like dressing openly, but just that you're wearing trousers. Yeah, you cannot enter the mission premises, not to talk of entering the church. So yeah, these are the things that, you know, we need to know if you're going to be able to reach out to those people and help them.
You know, I'll tell you concerning the ladies, we experimented this.
Oh, okay.
One time, we did a seminar about a relationship between boys and girls, and then for youth. So I wanted to convince the men that they are not supposed to be taking advantage of the ladies and sleeping with them, that it's not sex that women have.
Right.
They say it's not possible. They say, but what about prostitutes? That's their job now. I said, okay, let us try it.
Okay.
So we took 200 people, boys and girls, and went to the street, just looking for prostitutes and people. We only stop people who are exposing, who expose themselves in their dressing, who are wearing things like this and no shirt, no top almost. You know the way white people dress. Right. So, and all the 200 people, we went out from 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock. And everybody made two people we were supposed to talk to. 2 boys, 1 girl, 2. And, you know, first of all, the prostitutes, they would think that they were coming for clients.
Right.
And then when we begin to talk about, I told them, I instructed them, talk to the inner man, right, to the person. All of them started crying. They started breaking down, telling their stories, their families, their upbringing, what led them to this. They forgot about money altogether. In fact, some of them, we now decided that, okay, since we took your time, because that time you're supposed to be with clients, so let's pay you. Let's just bless you. We don't need money. This is what we needed, what you gave us, attention. You noticed me, I. Nobody ever noticed us. They only say our body.
Wow. You know, that is even, this your teacher is not more, it's heartbreaking, all right, because we've become so judgmental and so religious that we can't really touch people. We can't see past the physical. I'm just wondering how God would be so devastated and frustrated at us when we just pass by these people and, you know, you just see them as some mini demons or something.
Religion is a killer.
Yeah. It's amazing to know that these people are hurting on the inside. They are hurting in their emotions, and maybe it's just a listening ear.
They are screaming.
Yeah.
They're actually screaming. Please pay attention to me. Please, somebody notice me. Please, I'm here. Can you see me? But nobody is seeing them. They're seeing the body.
Right.
So one time, I don't know, I'm sure you've heard me talk about this story. There is an American brother that had a clinical death experience. So he went to heaven and, you know, he had an encounter with Jesus in heaven. And so Jesus made a statement and said, it is my desire that everybody on earth will come to heaven and nobody will go to hell. So when this brother had that, this is a Christian brother, and said, Jesus, you know, he didn't say it. He was just thinking it in his mind,
heart.
in his heart, and Jesus saw it. I mean, so and he said, but what do you mean that you want everybody to come here? You mean even the murderers and what about the pedophiles? People who rape 5-year-old boys, 5-year-old girl. You want Jesus, but you are Jesus. You want them to come here? These are pedophiles, homosexuals, gay people. You know what Jesus said? He said, first of all, never you dare judge anybody.
Wow.
He said, that is one of the most important things I said on Mount of Sermon on the Mount.
Yeah.
Never judge. You don't know why they are where they are.
Right.
I know what brought them there. I know the beginning. I know why they are who they are now. Who are you to judge them? Number two, just like I died for you, you too, you are not deserving to be here. You too don't qualify to be here. In my own eyes, you are all the same. Your sin and their own sins is the same. So just like they don't qualify to be here, you too don't qualify to be here. But it is because of my sacrifice. It's because of what I did that you could get here. Now you got here because of what I did. And now you are saying another person cannot come. I mean, you yourself, I just pardon the other just now. Not because of you are good, though. Your goodness is not even worth it. It's not even counted. It's because of what I did. And I am the one who did for the other guy too. And now you are stopping me from letting you come and not letting the other guy go. See how wicked we are. So some of the wickedness is more with us who call ourselves righteous.
Right.
So all those condemnation. In fact, one thing I've come to the conclusion about is that no judging. I don't understand. I will not behave like that. Maybe I will say I cannot understand that and I cannot do that. But there must be a reason behind whatever somebody is doing that we don't know. So I will not take it upon myself the responsibility to decide if the person is right or not. If only God knows.
Yeah. Dear viewers, wonderful people, if you're watching and you're hearing these conversations, I will want to plead with you, and you're a believer, that let's have more of the heart of Christ and try to see beyond the physical. Try to see those people from the hurting perspective. Let's look at them with the eyes of Jesus. Ask yourself, what would Jesus do if he was in your own shoes, so that we'll be able to reach out to those people. Let's stop writing people off because of what they did or what they look like, because if not for grace, maybe you and I will do worse or be in worse situations. And until we begin to do that, we will not be able to minister to the person in them. So let's forget about what the house looks like and let's concentrate on the person that is on the inside, which Jesus died for. And
but
I think...
Won't you add issues like that, Pastor, with the pedophiles and the gay people going to heaven?
If they will go to heaven, one thing I've always known is why I won't have had problem with that is the story about the crucifixion of Jesus and the criminals. So that is actually what taught me a lesson, because the Bible said they were criminals and they were crucified because of their crime.
Yes.
And as a matter of fact, I didn't even hear him repenting. He only rebuked his friend. Why are you talking to him like that? At least we deserve what we did. But he did not deserve, he didn't do anything wrong and they crucified him. And that was all he said. The Bible did not say he repented or he said anything or he did anything. And Jesus told him, today your soul will be with me in paradise. So from that gave me a reflection, because I used to tell people, you do not know what happened between people in their last moments, before they even died, before they even passed to glory. You don't know their contrite spirit. You don't know if they made it right with God. You can never understand. So I won't be surprised if pedophiles are in heaven or homosexuals, because it's what happens at the last minute. And if you were not with them, you might just be condemning them because of what you knew about them in the past. But you don't know what happened 10 minutes before they passed. You don't know what happened 1 minute, 10 seconds before they passed. The Jews will condemn that person, the thief. Maybe they will be hoping he will be in hell. But some of them will die and go to hell and see that he is in heaven. So with God, all things are possible. So I don't think I would have had a problem with that. That is actually what stood out for me with Jesus and what happened there. So I don't
Because
think
some people don't even want to think about, some Christians don't even want to even consider that as a possibility.
It's religion, Pastor. They just, some of them, they have a list, you know, their tickets.
Of people who don't qualify.
Who are not qualified to make heaven.
As if they are the ones who decide.
I asked somebody one day, I said, probably you'll be the one that will be a stand at the gates of heaven with your list and be calling the roll call of those who are qualified. It's funny. Okay, let's go into our question for today. This person is saying, what is your opinion on Fidel Castro of Cuba? Many are celebrating his death, while many are mourning it. He was also a close ally to Guevara. Che Guevara, who you used as an example in one of your articles. What are your thoughts?
The person knows that I use Che Guevara.
Che Guevara, yeah.
Yes, in my article. Yeah, so he's been following me. Okay, what do I think about Fidel Castro?
Yeah.
No doubt, one of the greatest human beings that have ever lived on earth.
Right.
And what made him great is because of his love and compassion for ordinary people. And definitely one of the greatest orators that has ever lived.
Oh, okay.
One of the greatest orators. I mean, Fidel Castro can speak for 12 hours, 18 hours without a paper, and without stopping. It's just like a preacher would do. You know, not even every preacher can do that. And Fidel Castro was also a great human mobilizer. But he had great compassion and love for ordinary people. That is what separates him. That's what makes him better than most of the American capitalists.
But they are saying that he incapacitated his people and took advantage of his people.
Yes, he didn't take advantage of his people.
Okay.
But he brought revolution.
Okay.
And then, as a result of revolution, the people he counted as bourgeoisie, or the people who he counted as wealthy and rich, he took their wealth from them and nationalized their properties and distributed, because that is the ideology of communism that he brought, of socialism that he brought. But the people who are criticizing him most are the Americans. But what the Americans won't tell you is that they used him. He was their agent before he turned against them.
Okay.
So when he was in their side, when he was their agent, he was good.
Oh, okay.
So when he turned against Americans, now it was like they are treating him like a devil.
Okay.
And they said, I just see that a lot of preachers, because they are coming from America, everybody, because you know, they just take the opinion of the American government because they are American preachers. Right. So they don't look at it from two sides. Okay. They only look at it from the side of their government. So a lot of preachers and a lot of ministers, they just speak the opinion of the mass media that is they are living in, what they are fed with. They don't see it from the other side. Yes. Did he do some things bad? Ooh, he did a lot of evil. But that did not erase the very good things he did. Okay, for example, that country, despite the fact that it was the country that's just 1 hour from America, right, it was one of the poorest countries in the world. It is still one of the poorest countries in the world, but now it is totally different. It is a country that nobody even knew. Almost very few people knew that it existed before. But now Cuba is on the mouth of everybody in the world. It became a world player because of one man, Fidel Castro, number one. Number two, before Fidel Castro came, that country was a third world country, like every African country, with maybe 70% illiterate. Okay. People don't know how to read or write. This man brought that country to 99% literacy. Wow. Almost 100%, one of the highest, most educated countries in the world. Wow. That's one. Number two, people didn't have access to medical services. And it was because you have to pay. It was just like, just like in Nigeria now. It was just like that kind of country. When this man came, the medical service in Cuba today is one of the top in the world. Okay. It's higher than America. Wow. Their medical service is better than America. Wow. And this is one of the poorest countries in the world. Then, more than that, Cubans, it's just a small country. How many millions? Maybe less than 10 million people, I think. and they are so excellent in many things.
Okay.
And the country, they got rid of the rich people, but everybody is doing well. Everybody, just like here.
Okay.
Everybody is equal. Everybody has everything they need, basic amenities. They are not living in luxury too much, not having too much in excess, but at least nobody is like the way they used to be dejected. And that is because he himself was from a very wealthy family. Okay. His father was very rich, one of the richest in the country. But he turned against that lifestyle because he was growing up rich, had everything he needed, and he was seeing so much poverty around. And he was saying, even if I try to help by my own strength alone, how many people will I help? Like, the whole system has to change. That is what he did. So he brought out a lot of people from generational in sports. It's one of the leading sports countries in the world. Small country like that, but they're on the world stage. In fact, Cuba now is one of the most powerful Latin American countries. They help almost every country in the world with medical services and medical education. In fact, Cuba is giving scholarship to Americans.
Wow.
To come and study medicine.
Wow.
And some of those things are things you never hear.
Right.
The things you will always hear is the position of the American government or the Cubans who ran away, the elite that had money. And it's just like saying a revolution happens in Nigeria now. 99, that is 150 million or 170 million of Nigerians are the ones who benefit, they will rejoice. But the 100,000 or maybe 1 million that are wealthy and run away, they will be angry, of course. But where they will run to, if all of them go to that, that's where the only story they are hearing. But the 200 million people that will be happy and are satisfied, they are satisfied. They are happy because their plight have been removed.
Okay. But there was a story of the daughter actually also leaving to, escaping to America and was against the father and condemning his leadership.
Yes, because of the socialist and communist system.
Okay.
And what is the socialist system and communist system? Because it's an ideology.
Right.
And the ideology is that not everybody can just go and become who they want to become. It's an ideology that wants to distribute wealth equally.
Okay.
So if the daughter is more exposed to the Western way of life, she came from a grandfather of wealth and everything. She wants to also live like that, free and extravagant life. Maybe that's why she turned against the father. But the father had a lot of enemies, but had a lot of, had a lot of admirers too. But let me tell you something personally about him. Apart from, I don't say he didn't do anything bad though. Because when he came, you know what he did? No. He arrested all the corrupt people, the people they say they are corrupt, and did, like judgment, what do you call it? They do this judgment something. Anyway, court for them, civil court, communal court. On all of them that were guilty, or that they counted as guilty, they took them to firing squad. Whoa. All corruption, all people who are corrupt, they fired them like they just killed them. Then they also went down and anybody that supported the corrupt government, they were also arrested. Wow. And if they were proven guilty, they were also fired. So, since it did a lot of rough things, really bad things for democracy now. But those kind of evil things, they happen everywhere too, even in the so-called democratic countries. So he has his enemies and he has his friends. But what I would say about him is that the reason why he's the one that holds the world record in assassination attempts. Over 600 assassination attempts against him. Wow. Wow. And they couldn't succeed. Out of that 600 assassination attempts, at least half of them are from American government, and they couldn't succeed. Wow. They couldn't kill the guy. Wow. Because the people loved him, really. Uh-huh. So, but his own thing that he had, let me tell you now, he was, if you meet Fidel Castro, it's like, just for the sake of illustration, I would say this, because I just don't know any other example to use. It's like meeting Pastor Sunday.
Okay.
He's a very friendly person.
Yes.
Very jovial person.
Yeah.
Very knowledgeable person.
Yeah.
And very people-oriented person. He cares, truly cares for people.
Right.
For example, the American government sent some militia,
Military men.
They are military
Soldiers.
men, yes. Mercenaries, they call them. Send them to go and overthrow him.
Okay.
And they threw them in their troop plane from Miami Beach and flew them to the country incognito, and started a war over there. And the American government started supporting them through plane. So, but the people arose and they fought, and they were able to defend the throne, and killed some of those American soldiers, but the American soldiers of Cuban descent.
Okay.
That had immigrated out of the Cuba to America. So they are the ones that formed the army. The American government trained them, equipped them, and threw them
Send
there.
them back.
Yeah. So as if it is a civil war.
Okay.
So after they imprisoned they surrounded all the soldiers, they put them in prison, and then Fidel Castro himself came to see them in prison. They were qualified to be shot dead by foreign squad. So after 3 months of being in prison, he just came one day. They gathered all of them incognito. He just came and said, I'm Fidel. You wanted to overthrow me and kill me. He said, but how have you been treated these three months that you have been in prison? How is our revolution treating you? And started telling them, you know why? You see, you are kids. You are just, even I was born in this country. This is why we did the revolution. It's not because I'm so wicked, though. It's just because I care for people. See how much we have been able to. Just explain. In fact, they were Americans who were born over there by immigrants of the
Cuba.
People who moved there. So they said by the time they finished listening to him, all of them were saying, Fidel, Fidel. Some of them remained. They refused to go back to America after.
Wow. Wow.
Because they say we've not seen somebody who is so down to earth, so truthful, so sincere, so so care about us, even who are prisoners in who he was supposed to shoot. Was explaining to us one by one and what happened and what they did and why they did what they did. So that is the personal, the touch, the unique part of him that makes people to be so endeared to him.
Okay.
Because he's interested, truly interested in them, and he was really giving his life to help them.
Yeah, and they said that in his biography, and they said he's very vindictive too.
Yeah, that's the reason why they say vindictive, what I said, that all the people they found
guilty, he shot them.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I believe if you're the person that asked that question, you've gotten pastor's opinion about Fidel Castro. The second question is, when using the exclamation, "Oh my God," constantly, does that equal a misuse of the name of God?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. It will be, you misuse the name of God, you have to do it intentionally. You have to intentionally, God will not judge you for something that, you are not intending to do. God judges the act. If God has been judging just any action you take, well, we'll all be in trouble, but God looks at the heart. He sees your heart, that in your heart, you are not intending to desecrate the name of God.
Okay, some people might argue this with you. At least me, while I was growing up, they scolded me in church and all that when we were growing up in children department, that the commandment said, "Thou shalt not call the name of the Lord in vain." Or maybe you were doing something fell from your hand and be like, "Jesus, oh my God," and they will say you're using the name of the Lord in vain. So you are not of that ideology?
Yeah, I was also scolded, and I torture myself like crazy just to be able to obey that rule. And but that was mainly before I got to know God for myself.
Right.
But knowing God for myself, I discovered that a lot of traditions that were handed over to us are just what they are, traditions, not more. Oh. But when you know the heart of God, when you know the Father, it's totally different.
There is nothing wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with that.
Okay. So is it okay to do that?
Yes.
Okay. So why will you say it's okay then?
Because you are not intentionally saying, "Oh my God," to desecrate, desecrate the name of God.
Right.
You are not doing that intentionally to call the name of God in vain. You are just you're expressing your feeling.
Right.
So it could be anything, but God looks at the heart. So if we are not even talking about God.
Right.
You are talking about if your heart doesn't condemn you. Talk less of God. Your heart is very far from God.
Yeah, but in most cases, though, it's not even like you're doing it to despise God or something. It's more like, okay, calling for rescue or something happened. You'll be like Jesus, or you're amazed at something, or you're afraid of something, and you're calling, the name of God.
That's why it cannot be a sin.
Oh, okay, great. So if you're the person that asked that question, Pastor said it's okay.
Yeah.
He's not using the name of the Lord in vain, as you always almost think, or the ideology that have been so down to us.
Religion.
Yeah.
Religion.
All right. This person is saying, Pastor Sunday, just out of curiosity. And by the way, if you have a question and you're viewing us, you've not sent your question yet, please, you can leave your question as a comment under this video you are saying, and Pastor will be addressing your question. So this person is saying, Pastor Sunday, just out of curiosity, what is the greatest gift someone could make you? I think maybe make you or give you.
Give you.
Yeah.
The greatest gift anyone could give me is to listen to my teachings,
Right.
to imbibe those teachings into them,
Right.
and repeat or to do what I've done and even exceed what I've done. That is the greatest gift. To be a carrier of the same anointing, the same grace, to be a practitioner of the teachings that have been given to the world.
So you would not like material gifts, you wouldn't like a jet, maybe a yacht.
I could do, those things are things I could get for myself.
Okay.
So they are not gifts. Somebody could give them to me, but I don't need them. I would not value them because I can get all of those things myself. So it's just like saying I can buy socks for myself or handkerchief for myself or a shirt for myself. I will even go and pick the one I like self. So it's better than the one that nobody else will give me. So I will appreciate it. I will say thank you, but they're asking for the greatest gift.
Right.
That's why I asked.
Okay. So if you're the one that asked that question, you want to give the greatest gift, a special gift to Pastor, just imbibe, listen to his message, let it be flesh in you, imbibe it, and repeat what he has done and even do greater.
Yes.
By so doing, you should have given him the greatest gift ever you could think of.
Yes.
Who talks like that? Except Pastor Sunday.
So people would have mentioned something material.
Maybe, yeah. Who knows? Maybe, probably.
Yeah, different needs.
Right.
My own need is to live minimum 300 years after I'm gone.
Okay.
Or 500 years, or to live forever. I'm doing everything needed for that. But it's also a joy to see people who don't just listen to get entertained, but who listen to be serious like you. Because I see and I know how much sacrifice it takes me to come up with the depth of teachings, knowledge, our walk with God that I have. And my greatest joy is to see somebody continue that or reproduce that. Somebody was telling me the other day and said, Pastor Sunday, I listened to one of your teachings,
Right.
and you said you go for solitude.
Right.
And I started doing it, practicing it. Pastor, it's too difficult to me. I thought that it's too difficult. So I was explaining to the person that, yes, that people always ask me, what does it take to have such a ministry? And how difficult it is to pastor, mega churches or big church or something, or white church, or so, different kind of questions in that regard. Is it difficult to pastor people? Is it difficult to pastor in Europe? Is it difficult to have a big church? All kind of questions. I said, for me, having a big church of 20,000 or 25,000 or Europeans, it doesn't matter what, or even 200 churches or 1,000 churches, is nothing compared to the effort and the sacrifice it takes me to keep on seeking God on a regular basis. Just to lock yourself up in the room for a week every single month for the past maybe 20 years. And, you know, like in the first 15 years, I would not even talk to any human being. I would not even see any person. I would not just be in that room alone and only drinking water. That to me is much more, even up to now, it's much more a greater price to pay. It's much more costly than pastoring or even making $1 million or $10 million. That one is more costly than even making $1 billion for me. That is more costly than building 1 million church member. That is more costly than any other thing.
Wow. But talking about that, Pastor, someone might want to ask, because those period of your life, I believe, at the point you were at the, will I say, at the peak of your popularity, and definitely you should have been having so many invitations to minister abroad and all that. So how were you able to discipline yourself to always do that 1 week every month,
now
then balancing it with your church activities, then balancing it with your family?
That is where, now you are talking. Now you're talking, because I needed to travel.
Right.
And I still need to find time to pastor and to minister to people and to answer the question, and then still find that week I still have to put it there, non-fail. So the discipline to even be able to say no to yourself, to other people, the discipline to be able to even put off the telephone and not to. Okay, I had a pastor here visiting me a few days ago, Pastor Great.
Right.
He was surprised that I'm living without telephone.
Okay.
To him, it's like a big shock that how can I'm a pastor, a successful pastor like this, not have telephone. He said he was with me for a whole week and he didn't see telephone, no long call.
Right.
He's having two, even here. Even he's left England, and even while he was here, he was still having two. How?
Right.
So that discipline to be able to set yourself free from all that pressure and just be with God. That it's a lot. It takes a lot of many other things that I cannot even say here.
Okay.
Apart from that one you just said.
All right. So, but at some point, did your family suffer in some way?
It could have been. Now I'm thinking about it. That's most likely, because I will travel for a week, maybe 2, come back. I have 2 more weeks. I will go. I have to go before God, and then I would only have 1 week with the family,
okay,
or something like that, you know.
Wow. Awesome. Well, dear viewers, greatness takes a price and sacrifice. So, yeah, that is actually the greatest gift you can give to Pastor, paying this price and doing what he's done and doing greater. Thank you so much, Pastor, for the sacrifice you had to pay for we to be benefiting from this well of wisdom. And I believe it's those times that actually gave you the depth you have, and probably set you apart from other preachers and other people.
It's going to be very difficult for, at least I've been working on this surface of the earth for 50 years.
Right.
And it will be very tough to find any site, any place, any one individual that will have so much things that God has loaded in me through those years.
That's true. Great.
It might not be the greatest church or the biggest something, but there are some things that you could, if you look carefully, you will see.
That's right. Okay. This person is saying, what is your take on the constant attack Christians are suffering in the United States, especially from the LGBTQ community? If there is anyone on air or in business who does not agree with gay marriages, they attack the person or business and try to take them out. How can we as believers handle this craziness? We should not be forced to accept things that are against our faith. How can we fight back effectively?
That's a good question, because I don't blame that gay community or whatever it is, something, GL, something. I don't blame them. They are propagating their own ideology, what they believe, and they are doing exactly what they need to do to make sure that the ideology overcomes the world. Kudos to them, kudos. I think we Christians just need to wake up from our slumbers and begin to do the same thing. And we are more than them, but we are not organized. We are not so focused. We are living for ourselves. We are living our own lives. We are concerned about our membership and our property, our building. We are concerned about choir, of dancing, jumping, just enjoying our lives. We are not concerned about changing the world, but they are. They want to change the world. Kudos to them. Excellent. I admire them. We just need to stand up and be organized and begin to do the same thing. So that if we stand up and unite and begin to be organized righteousness and begin to push forward the righteousness of God, the principles of God, we will run them out of town.
Yeah, but that's what this person is asking. How can they fight back effectively? How can they do that? How can they be organized?
It starts from unity of Christians. If we only unite alone.
Which is the #1 big problem in the body of Christ today. The whole denomination and segregation thing.
That is one thing. Number 2, if you are an individual, you can still do something too.
Okay.
You could, but most people just talk. I don't even want to talk about what you can do. Because if the person is interested in knowing what he could do, let him write me. Because, just talking, giving my ideas to people who will not
implement it.
Yeah, it's not worth it. But I'm going to do something, but not about LG, whatever, not about gay people or any people, about the world in general. I'm not going to concentrate on gay people or any people. I'm going to concentrate on the world. We are going to change the world.
Right.
My focus is changing Africa. But if we could change Nigeria, and Africa, we would have done a big deal to change the world. But, anywhere I am, we make sure that it changes.
Right.
I've been in Russia. I've been here for so many years now, and there's no way this place will forget me in a hurry.
Right.
The same thing with Africa. And, we're going to change the world. And we're not giving up on it. Personally, I believe that I'm just about to start.
Awesome.
Everything has been preparation so far.
Great insight. So if you're the person that asked that question, and Pastor said the steps the church needs to take is first unity. We need to be united as believers because according to statistics, over 70% of Americans are Christians. So the so-called people that are putting so much force on running the Christians out of time and choking them, maybe they are less than 30% of the population.
The gay community is 4%.
4%. Just 4% of people terrorizing 96% of,
No, some are neutral, some are.
But at least
agnostic.
70% are Christians. So let's say that.
They say they are Christians. Active Christians maybe will be 40%.
Okay, Pastor, let's even say it's 30%. So if 4% could be that active, what will happen when 30% gets active? So it's unity. But if you are serious to do something as an individual, write Pastor. The email is pastor@godembassy.org, and he will give you the strategies on what to do. All right, this person is saying, I have a friend who is Caucasian, and I was told by a prophet that she is possessed with some kind of evil spirit. But she is born again, a lover of God. She serves in church and is so kind-hearted. I have, however, seen some signs that makes me know that the prophet might be right. She isn't from a church that does demonology like the black American churches. How do I help her? I have seen that Jesus casted 7 evil spirits out of Mary Magdalene. How will my friend be saved, as I can't do it myself?
Go and find the prophet now. Not the prophet tell you. If it's a prophet who told you that, make the prophet go and tell the girl that she's getting demon possessed.
Okay.
I think it's a lot of rubbish. I don't believe in that. Black American churches don't do that. So I think black churches, yes, but not black American churches. And, for you to just say it like that somebody is demon possessed, even if the person is having some, misbehaviors or some uncharacteristic manifestation or something that is not normal, for you to take it upon yourself that it is demon possession. There are some people in this country who believe that I am demon possessed.
Okay.
Some people even believe Jesus is demon possessed. Up to now, they still believe you are demon possessed. So to be just using those kind of words, I'm not going to be in a hurry to be so judgmental. I've got to see the sign that someone who is born again, who loves God, who loves people, who is serving in the church like that, is demon possessed, and only that one prophet knows.
Well, Pastor, the ideology, the question I would like to ask there is, do you really think it's possible that a believer that is born again to be demon possessed? Because the Bible says light and darkness cannot stay in a place. So is it really possible that a born again believer will be possessed? Because if you say he's born again, it means it's the Spirit of God that is in that person. Is it possible that a born again believer will be possessed by a demon?
That is one of the major doctrines that we have to confront in Africa.
Right.
Yes, a born again Christian could be possessed if he backslides,
Right.
or if he departs from the ways of the Lord.
Right.
And he has to, for you to be possessed, you have to serve and submit yourself to that demon. Evil spirit.
Okay.
Now, a born again Christian could be oppressed,
Right.
and could be tormented by demons, but possessed is another thing.
Right.
You have to really go and submit yourself to the dominion and lordship of that other spirit.
Right. Okay. So, if you're the one that asked that question, I believe you got your answer. Ooh, this person is saying, Pastor Sunday, how does one addresses a long-time friend who has been previously married with children, divorced for years, and has now currently declared she is gay and getting married to another woman? She claimed the Pentecostal church didn't accept her because she was a divorcee, and only the LGBT church accepted her during her time of need. She now currently holds a Facebook platform where she shares her views and uses Christendom as part of her show.
So she is a lady.
Yeah, a lady.
Was married,
divorced,
divorced.
had kids and divorced, married for so many years, and divorced. So now she's now turning to say
And she was a minister too.
She was in church. She didn't say that she was a minister.
Okay.
And she's now saying that she's gay, about to get married to another woman, saying that the church did not accept her in her time of this thing. Problem is the gay community that accepted her, and she now has a Facebook platform and using Christendom and all that in some of her shows. To air her views, rather.
I think that is a great indictment to us all as Christians.
Right.
If people are leaving our congregations, our societies, to join gay churches, it means we need to accept, we need to review our love work and our ability to accept people and to judge people less. It means, I'm sure, if the person was feeling well or good where she was, she would not have been looking for a gay church.
Okay.
So,
but this person is asking now, how can she be addressed? How can you address this person? She's a long-time friend.
Two ways.
Okay.
Number one, give her understanding.
Okay.
Number two, don't condemn her.
Okay.
Number three, understanding means try to see from her views and love her.
Okay.
Try to win her back through love.
Okay.
Only by love.
Okay. So Pastor gave you 3 points if you're the person that asked that question. Firstly, give her understanding, understand her. Second, don't judge her. Third, love her. Only by love can you win her back. Then this person, wow, that is a big one right there. That is a big one right there. This person is saying, what is your take on the life of Gandhi and how, though he was poor, changed the destiny of his nation? Is that worthy of emulation by Christians, as many believe it to be the right approach? Rather, I think that's what.
I won't say he was poor.
Okay.
I would say he decided to live the lifestyle of the ordinary person.
Right.
So the fact that he was dressing like that, it was not because of poverty. He was a lawyer, successful lawyer.
Wow.
Well-to-do. He just decided to identify more with his people because that's the way his people used to, ordinary people in his country used to dress that time.
Right.
And and then his doctrine of you know, his greatest weapon was his knowledge,
Right.
his perseverance, and his resilience. But if to change the world, it's not his poverty that changed the world. It was his proactiveness, his willingness to take responsibility, to go and fight for a difference. And that's exactly what the Christians are not doing.
Right. Okay. So it's got nothing to do with poverty, but his heart, his passion, the ability to be ready to sacrifice for a thing. Well, if you're the person that...
And his proactiveness.
And his proactiveness, being ready to fight for a cause. I think we need to, you know, fight for what we stand for. At least we should discover something we are living for, basically. So that is what Gandhi did, and that is what Christians should do, as our pastor said. So yes, Pastor, it's been a wonderful time with you and an insightful time. Our time is over.
It's not possible.
It's miraculously.
I thought it should be 30 minutes.
No, we just have 1 minute left. No, we have 1 minute left to the end of our time. So I would like you to bless our viewers for today that have been, just say a word of prayer and blessing over their life.
Yes, Father, in Jesus' name, let your grace and your hand be upon all your children, wherever they are watching us from. Lift them higher and take them to the place that you want them to be. And let them be able to be your servants, your instruments to spreading your grace, your love, and your passion throughout the earth. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, wonderful people, for being with us today. It's always a wonderful time having this show with you. So don't forget, same time next week, we are going to be coming your way again. I was your host for today, Dr. Sufficient Bien. Bye. See you on Saturday.